Let's try it again. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you. My name is Marvin. I'll have the pleasure to be your tour guide. Sadly, I won't be able to drive for you guys today. I was telling some of you guys this morning that yesterday we had 4 ladies that they got on the wrong bus. I was driving. They were on their way to Texas. So from Tucson, Arizona, I had to drive all the way to Phoenix, and I just got to please save this number on your phone, bus number 1957. If I ever become a celebrity, I want my commission out of that, okay? So please guys, it became effective that if you guys will be getting into the wrong unit, we would only tell you bye-bye. Enjoy the ride wherever you're going. So please guys, let's be careful with that. But the name of our main driver this morning is Bruce. Can we please give him a big good morning just to make sure this guy is completely awake?
Good morning, Bruce.
One of the best drivers I've known. His return rate is 40%.
Not bad.
I wouldn't be here if that would be true, believe me. So Bruce is one of the best. He's one of the 3 legends that we still have left at this company. He's been doing this for 25 years. I was a child when he was doing this already. I'm not saying he's old, I'm just saying he's got a lot of experience. He looks like a teenager. So first off, we'd like to say thank you for being on time. Time, it is a big matter on our tour, and since we're actually having an on-time departure, we were just behind of the schedule a few more minutes. Nothing we can really handle. We do have a few surprises for this group. I don't know if you guys ever been into the Antelope Canyon before. Okay. So we do have a few surprises for this group. Number 1, most of the times we get to drive our customers to the I-40, where you just get to see desert land and bushes all over the place. But today we're planning to drive this group to the states of Nevada, the state of Arizona, but also the state of Utah. Within the next hour and 30 minutes, we'll get to see the Virgin River Gorge. So if you guys ever wonder how the bottom of the Grand Canyon will look like, this is going to be a very close perspective. We'll be driving in between mountains, and we'll have this river on site, which is not the largest or the strongest river we have in the US. I will turn off the lights in a minute.
This is the place of nowhere. First stop namin. Pupunta kami sa Grand Canyon, Antelope. And guys, ihi muna kami. And grab some coffee. Bus yung aming sasakyan. This is the place of our first stop dito sa Utah County.
Because Christmas party that year, I brought my wife into the Christmas party. There was a big buffet at the yard, and I was putting a lot of food on my plate, a big mountain of food on my plate. And Bruce, he was looking at me from another table. He was sitting next to his wife, and he was just looking at me and moving his head. And then he got up from his chair and he approached my wife, and they were both looking at me, laughing. And then I could actually read his lips, and he was asking to my wife for her phone number, and she gave it to him. Then a couple of days later, she started getting text messages from Bruce. Christmas that year, Christmas Eve, an Amazon package got to my house, and my wife was hiding that package, so I thought that now Bruce, he was sending gifts to my wife. Christmas that morning, when we were opening up the gifts, she brought this package. Incredibly, this man, he bought for my wife an alarm for the fridge. So if I would open the fridge will start beeping really loud, and my wife will get alerts on her phone. So until now, I can't steal any food from my fridge.
Oh my.
And the text messages she was getting, those were the diets that I was supposed to follow. And because of this amazing human being, I've lost 150 pounds over the last 6 years.
Wow.
That's why I love you, brother.
Good job.
That's why I love this guy so much.
Good job.
So this is not the end of the story. When I was driving, I told him, I don't want you to talk to me no more. Whatever is work related, I'll take it. But anything else, I don't want you to judge me no more. He told me, it's fine, I get it. He was telling us about the next city that is just right ahead of us. We'll be there in 20 minutes or less. The city of Fredonia. This little town, it measures less than 3 square miles. Their population is less than 800 people. And this town, before 2009, being part of the Kaiwa-Paiute Native American Reservation, some Native American tribes, if not all of them, they have to find a way to actually make the revenue, to keep their roads in a good shape, to keep the cities clean and organized. It was almost impossible to drive through the city. There's no attractions nearby. This city is so small that even until now, they don't even have a grocery store. When they need to buy groceries, they have to drive out here or come across the state line with Canab, Utah. All of this changed when this little town brought in Nicholas Berry. Nicholas Berry became Fredonia's Marshal in 2009. Ever since, the roads on this town, they look immaculate. The city is clean and organized. He's the only police officer on duty during daytime. And he's the worst ticket writer we ever seen in our lives. I can actually show you how many tickets that I have from my co-workers in the company we work for. After how many were left? 57. We're 57 drivers right now. This guy, he already wrote tickets to 53 of us. 1 mile over the speed limit is all you need to get a ticket from this guy. And because they're native, the Constitution from the Native American tribe says that they have no tolerance about speeding, none. This is how he makes the money for the whole city. So he was just trying to explain to us how strict this guy was. I wasn't listening much, but at the same time, he was trying to explain to me the way he looks. I've noticed that we have guys on this unit today, on this group, that you guys are pretty tall. For example, him, the one sitting on the aisle with the brown shirt. How tall are you, if you don't mind me to ask?
6'3".
6'5".
6'3".
6'3". You're almost perfect. Will you mind to stand up just for a quick second? I will probably look like your little brother when I'm standing next to you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So he's 6'3". I don't know what kind of vitamins your mom gave you when you were a child. I need to ask her. I have a 5-year-old son. I need to ask her so I can give my son some of that.
Yeah.
But the other guy, he's 6'9".
Oh,
So just imagine how tall this guy is. Yes, he touches the roof with his head. But it's not only that. John Cena or The Rock will be embarrassed if they will be standing next to him. He is the biggest man I've seen in my life in person. I can't describe how big his muscles are. And we have a picture of this guy. And the reason why I'm talking to you about this character is because he's always a section of the Antelope Canyon Wash. Now this canyon, it shapes on a V. It's more narrow on the bottom, but this canyon gets wide open on the top. The reason why this canyon actually has this V shape is because over the last few centuries, less water is been running through it, less precipitation. That means less erosion, and that's why this canyon is been getting narrowed on the bottom. Upper Antelope Canyon, it's completely the opposite. It's wide open on the bottom, it gets more narrowed on the top. In Antelope Canyon X, which is owned by the Titan family, this family opened their canyon on 1993 for visitors. This is where the Antelope Canyon Wash begins. On one of the canyons, and when I said one of the canyons, it's because this family owns the privilege to own 2 different slot canyons. An A and a V-shaped canyon and a beautiful flat wash in between. So on the South Canyon, right on top of it, we have a big hole, and this is where all the water comes in because cardiac wash is right on top of it. Now this family, they call their section Antelope Canyon X because water and wind on the North Canyon created a big X right on top, and this is also a big light beam that when it hits the bottom of it, you can see this huge X on the ground. Now the coloration at Lower Antelope Canyon is slightly reddish. This is actually a younger section. Lower Antelope Canyon reaches up to 230 feet deep. Upper Antelope Canyon gets about the same deepness, and Antelope Canyon X actually reaches 236. They're all quite similar. Now Antelope Canyon X, some people will say, Marvin, is this Lower and Upper Antelope Canyon? And sometimes this gets misrepresented. To fairly answer this question, this is not Lower, this is not Upper Antelope Canyon, but it's actually very, very close of how each one of those canyons will look. At each one of the canyons, we actually get to see phenomena. For example, Lower Antelope Canyon, even on a cloudy day, gets illuminated all year round because it has the biggest opening on the top, more daylight will go through. Upper Antelope Canyon, it gets a little bit more darker on the top, but also since it gets darker, you get to spot layers of blues and purples on the shade. And on a normal day, when it's not cloudy, light beams, they will hit the bottom of the canyon or actually the walls, and we have phenomena such as the angel winds, which is this is naturally created, or we have those big and intense layers of purple, blue, all of these colors together. So now for me to show you all of those phenomena and how each one of the canyons will look like, I'm going to start with Lower Antelope Canyon. So this is how Lower Antelope Canyon is expected to be seen today. That's one of the sections of Lower Antelope Canyon. Now, another section of Lower Antelope Canyon will be this one when you just get right to the bottom. Now also we have Upper Antelope Canyon, and after you get to see this picture, we will all agree that the shape on the inside is completely different. So that's Upper Antelope Canyon. It's wide open on the bottom and it gets more narrowed on the top. So there is a big difference in between each one of them. Now phenomena we have at Upper Antelope Canyon, and this is actually when the sun will hit those layers of course. You get to see those blues, purple colors along with orange colors, really intense. This is actually something that naturally happens at Upper Antelope Canyon. And then we have also the angel wings, which this phenomenon can be seen in between the times you guys will be taking, but let's just hope that Mother Nature will be giving us a break and it wouldn't be too cloudy. And if it's not, this also can be seen at Upper Antelope Canyon. And that's naturally created. Those are the angel wings. And we have our Antelope Canyon X. Antelope Canyon X, this is one of the sections of Antelope Canyon X. Antelope Canyon X, as you can see, they're all different, but they're all pretty on a different way. So this is Antelope Canyon X, and this is where the Antelope Canyon wash begins. As you can see, we have a big hole right on top. This is where all the water comes in. Right on top of it, we have another big wash. So this canyon turns into an underground river when it rains. And this actually has brought a lot of fatalities. But the last one, the very last incident, was in 2001, where 17 people died at Lower Antelope Canyon. It wasn't raining over the Antelope Canyon, but it was raining over the mountains. And there was a massive flash flooding coming in. They were not aware of it, and they were just sending people down to the canyon. Now those 17 people, they were actually at the very end. There was nowhere else they could escape. So the flash flooding hit Lower Antelope Canyon, and they all died, including 2 Navajo tour guides that they were just down there. Sadly, they found all of their bodies at Lake Powell. This is where the Antelope Canyon wash ends. So that's why we have to keep an eye on the weather to take biddies. They just have 2 simple requests. Number 1, this is a religious activity. So please guys, let's just remain quiet. It's a show of respect. It's just like if, let's say that you actually, you go to church and somebody's actually making noises during the ceremony. This will be disrespectful, so they will just probably take it the same way. And also, if we get to be not too far from them, if you could please avoid crossing your arms or maybe crossing your legs. It really does. Lake Need. Glen Canyon on your right, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
Glen Canyon Dam on your left.
Wow.
Look what a damn view.
Oh my God. Wow. Glen Canyon Dam.
Do we have anybody that might want to jump from here for a swim?
No, no.
If you survive, the belly flop is gonna hurt. There's no way. I don't think there's a way to survive. It's too high. I mean, the river is pretty deep because of the dam. On this section, if you jump from this bridge, actually,
Some rocks.
there is actually possibilities to survive, but there was actually a person that jumped on 2006, and of course it didn't make it. But when they were just looking at the body, it didn't look like he actually hit with something. It was more the impact of how this person got killed. The river is actually quite deep because of the dam. A lot of actually created a lot of erosion on the main surface. So when the turbines actually would just be taking all this water possible. The only way to get lost is just if you drop, you're not coming back.
The city of Beach.
And please, when you're standing close to those edges, please don't remember the song, I believe I can